Hello and welcome. I'm Cynthia and I'm talking about twin flame abandonment versus divine physical companionship. This is a subject that is very touchy in the twin flame community, and for those who are waiting for union on a physical level with their twin and are determined that it is going to come to them in this lifetime, regardless of the level of consciousness that their twin is at. And this usually happens when a twin in separation is aspiring to attain a higher level of consciousness. They are trying to work solely with the light. So they are ignoring the shadow aspects of themselves and the darker side of human nature. And they have the belief that if they love on a divine level and they continue to work with forgiveness, this will ultimately raise the level of their twin's consciousness, and at some point their twin will awaken to what the connection is, and a physical union will be attained. In a perfect world, in perfect humanity, without abusive, avoidant, and dysfunctional behavior, that is a wonderful thought. But God did create us with free will. And if you stop and think about it, would you want your free will taken away from you? Would you want someone to try to force you into a physical relationship, a committed marriage that you didn't want to be with? I know this is very painful to face, but the truth is that when twin flames are in separation and they are unawakened to the connection, they often fall in love with other partners, and they do bond with them. And when you come to this reality, it is one of the most painful, dark emotions that you will ever experience. And I often find that when twins in separation are working with only the positive side of things, they suppress what is with them on an inner level, and they are in denial about the dysfunctional behavior that is displayed through avoidance and no contact. And I often hear all sorts of excuses. They're busy. They're caught up with work. They're caught up with financial matters. There are many aspects as to why someone is not contacting you and is not putting any time into your connection. As human beings who are actually souls that are having these human experiences on the earth plane, we were created to live high-value lives that are spiritually based in the physical form. But if you are living in turmoil because you do not have a solid, grounded, physical connection where not only those needs are met, and yes, on a sexual level, as well as materially and health-wise, and with the necessities of life, if you are not receiving this, as well as care on an emotional level and concern for how you feel, you are not equally yoked with your twin, and your connection is not a divine one at this point. Will your twin ever come around? Only if they awaken to the God source, to your connection and the value of it. But if they don't awaken to it, where does that leave you? Because all too often, when people are focusing on only the higher side of the twin flame connection, and they are saying, well, this is meant to be only a spiritual thing. Eventually, they'll come around. That is really living in denial, and it is really basically accepting the battered woman syndrome, where you are making excuses for that avoidance and that neglect and abandonment. It is hard to face that when a man truly wants to be with a woman, he will make her his priority on every level, and there will be no excuses. And this is the biggest pitfall I see in the twin flame community, where women wait for years and sometimes decades for their twin to awaken. This is not in divine order, and it certainly isn't cosmic law. And if something is bringing you this much heartache and misery. And you are trying to make up for it by overindulging and pampering yourself on your birthday and Valentine's Day and sacred holidays. If you are having to do everything yourself to make up for the fact that this connection is one-sided for the time being, or possibly for the remainder of this embodiment, sooner or later, the anger and resentment is going to crop. You're going to have to face it, and it will be a vicious cycle until you work through it. Men create homes with women that they desire to be with. It is not your call as a twin flame to judge whether that choice is right or wrong for someone else. When you are in separation from your twin, your first and foremost concern is to your respect, your self-respect, and your well-being. And you can easily block a solid, divine relationship with someone who could truly love you and cherish you on a divine level. I want you to think about this during the times you have been waiting for contact that never came on Valentine's Day, your birthday, the death of a loved one close to you, or an illness where you just needed someone to hold you and be there for you. If you are focusing on someone who is avoidant, who is not caring enough to give you even a shred of contact, you have your answer. And yes, it is on a highly spiritual level. I send you so much love, blessing, and healing as you proceed on your twin flame journey.